And I'm going to start with some numbers I saw this morning quickly on the train, so I may have these not exact, so forgive me if it's not exact, but I think it's right direction. And wrong, you see it. I think ComScore came out with search results for the month of February, and Google's been flat for a while, and Yahoo's actually ticked up a hair, but in February it reversed. Google went up a point and a half, which is a meaningful move for a month, and Yahoo ticked down, and Ask ticked down, and Microsoft ticked down to 6.5%. Again, I think that's the numbers in the head. So I don't know how anybody competes with Google in search on their own. And in fact, I would extend it, and I've said since 2005, and I've been wrong since 2005. I'm going to keep saying it until I'm right. That there has to be consolidation amongst the big players in the advertising space online because no one can compete with Google on their own. There has to be some form of consolidation. That's what I believed. And so what exact form that takes is obviously to be played out. And I thought last year, frankly, initially when Microsoft bid for the whole of Yahoo, I was like, there, see, I'm right, here it is. But we all know that story. And so I think that still has to be true because Google, it just continues to fundamentally gain share and everybody else continues to fundamentally lose share. And even if you were Microsoft and you were able to hold at 6.5%, is that where you want to be in your life? So I think you have to, you can't solve these things organically. There has to be consolidation. That's one. Two is, to Imran's point, the stat where he said that 8% of U.S. advertising is spent online. The other side of that stat is that I believe this year you're looking at something around 26 to 28% of adults' media time is spent online. So you have 26, I'll take the low one, I actually think it's higher. You have 26% of people's time and 8% of the money from advertising being online. It's over a 3-to-1 discrepancy. So over an arc of time, that money has to get online. It's trying to find a way to get online. And so you might be wrong on a quarter-by-quarter basis, but I think over an arc of time, that money does move online. And in fact, if you look at the growth rates, advertising growth rate is obviously down, but the consumption rate, the other number, the bigger number, is actually accelerating in its growth. It's growing faster. So that number is going to be close to 30% next year, and that discrepancy will be much more than 3-to-1. So the pressure to get money online will continue to grow. And so anyone who would think about these companies, including Yahoo, I believe should look at it from that point of view. And then the question is, how do you position yourself to capture the largest amount of that money if you're one of those scale players? And by the way, if you're on, I'd love to hear if you...
Sorry, we'll get to the Jonathan, so just kind of a quick clarification. Tim Armstrong, right, this was named to your former role as chairman and CEO of AOL. Do you think that kind of changes the dynamics possibly for AOL, Yahoo, or Lookup, or are you still hoping that you might be able to jump in?
Yahoo much too personal.
I apologize. I mean, we just love to pick your brain because of your vantage point.
First of all, I know Tim pretty well. I think Tim's great. I really do. I think he's a terrific hire. And I, like others who can speculate, assume it relates to ultimately AOL being spun out. And all I can do is speculate on that, but I've read that everywhere. And I think Tim is acting is great. Whether it relates to who does what with whom, I imagine it's way premature, but I think that, again, I think healthy companies, be it Yahoo, Microsoft, Google, and others being strong in the sector, I think is a good thing. Okay. I think it's a good thing for the sector overall. It's not great to have just one player, Google, who's doing fabulously well and nobody else. I don't think that's great for anybody but maybe one group of folks. But in general, for the sector, I think good, healthy, strong, large companies is a good thing. And hopefully that that Tim's appointment will lead AOL in that direction.
That was a question I had from some people who asked you, so I'm glad that you shed some light on that. Imran, you had something to say?
No, I agree with Jonathan. Look, I think a couple of things. Search is a very skilled play. I think there's two components of it: advertisers and there's a component of users, right? And the advertisers, the time the advertisers spend to campaign on Yahoo or Microsoft or Google, more or less the same. But when you campaign on Google, you reach a broader audience. So that's a disadvantage that Microsoft and Yahoo are. And second thing is, I think on the market share game, as internet is fragmenting, and I think a big chunk of the traffic generated for Yahoo.com and MSN.com where the mail, and people are going to Google Mail and other different, and Twitter and Facebook are becoming a different substitute for mail, that's also hurting the traffic growth rate and also impacting the search growth rate. So I think, search is a skill play, and we always talked about it, and it's hard to predict what will happen, but it makes sense to consolidate, and I think it will be easier for advertisers, and people potentially will be much more competitive play. And also, as you reach to a broader audience, advertisers one-on-one, you get better pricing.
Let me expand that topic again, Rich. I see you want to jump in, but let's kind of step further and say, how has